And we're live! How's my audio? Is it all right? Hello and welcome to another episode of HEX Therapy Live. I am your host, Maddie ALLin, also pronounced ALLin, and I'm excited for this show we have for you tonight. We're going to be talking about sudden wealth syndrome, the cures, causes, and spoiler alert, it's HEX. HEX is the cure and the cause of sudden wealth syndrome. Got my MetaMask gear on just in case they decide to do an airdrop tonight. I don't think they will, but Molly and I are ready for it. And oh yeah, everybody in HEX is going to Vegas. Yeah. So let's get this party started with a little thing I like to call the intro. There's so much going on in HEX. Where to begin? Where to begin? Well, for those of you who've been tracking the price, because you got nothing better to do for the next 15 years while you're waiting for those sweet, sweet steaks to come out. What I'm seeing here is 9.2 cents. So I'm not sure. There are so many projects I'm working on right now for the community. I'm blessed to have a community that I would do just about anything for, as long as it's healthy. Let's see. The reason why I don't wear these normally is because I smile too much when I'm talking about HEX, and then they fall out of my ears slowly. So we might have to switch it up, or we might have to rock the MetaMask gear. Not sure. Oh, somebody says that the audio is muffled. All right, then I'm definitely going to switch it up. So I don't know. Yeah, let's build the hype even more. Let's do the long intro and show people what we're talking about here with this whole hex.com, crypto, trustless interest, bank CD, replacing the banks, etc., etc. All right. Well, I got the old faithfuls on here, so hopefully the sound is better for all you people out there who are listening and not reading my lips. Cool. Hey, Crypto Coffee, how's it going? Hey, Brianna and Joe Hexotic. I was thinking about how you made my first meme of me as a bee. Uh, Maddie B all in, you know? So that was pretty cool. And I'm really excited to see everybody who's going to Vegas. We're gonna talk about everything tonight. But the most important thing, not the price, but the price is pretty cool. Not worried about that. The number one thing that I want to say is just part of the ethos of this app that I founded, that I am co-founding and releasing very soon. Um, it's going to be a different kind of thing, I think, than has existed in general, because part of the ethos of it is to not expect work from others. So that's a good thing. And then, but also to say that lots of people can pitch in, right? Because we are not going to be making any money off of it, except for the fact that we're going to pump our own hex bags. And then we're going to let other people pump their own bags too. So if you have a special skill, maybe you make memes. Maybe you are good at tracking down the list of ledger hacks, and then we can email everybody. Maybe you know why so many people keep messaging me about all these domains that I bought, hacking into my privacy and asking if I want a graphic designer. Like, I've been doing my own graphic design. I hate to say it. Well, also I've been getting some help, but bottom line is, it's pretty awesome. I'm cool. I don't need strangers contacting me. But that gave me the idea. I wonder, when people register domain names, usually those are people who are interested in digital scarcity. So, if we got people out there who know how to hunt down all the domain registrars in the world, I'm pretty sure we have a pretty good pitch for them. Again, because we might be able to analyze the data and find the pattern of which people are going to be the most interested in digital scarcity. Bottom line, though, is that this app, oh, I think I've got an example of it here. Oh, yeah, there it is. tshare.app. Yes, tshare.app. Check it out. It's not released yet, but we're starting to talk about it because we want people to understand that it is going to have a number of security parameters that are, I think, desirable. I've been speaking to some of the great minds in the HEX community to get feedback about, what the app is and what they think about how to spread adoption. Yeah, so basically it's a gamified front end for HEX. So the go.hex.com front end for HEX, that's a pretty good one. That's the one I usually use. And that's accessed through MetaMask usually. Now there's about 45 or 50 other wallets that you can use to access that front end. MetaMask is the predominant one that is regarded as just about as secure as it gets when it comes to the different software floating around out there. And so, I'm sure we'll have special guests to talk about this security. But at the end of the day, when you are a web-based front end for HEX, that means that you've got code that interacts with the HEX contract. The old start stake, end stake commands, right? And so, but then MetaMask approves everything, and so it's a read-only situation instead of a situation where you're like, oh, because you never want to send your private keys to anybody. You never want them to send you theirs. It's a better situation if MetaMask is like the chaperone on whatever journey you're embarking on in the digital unknown and the space of digital cash, right? So, yeah, it's intentionally being mysterious And I've even been overcomplicating things by explaining some things that we discovered about the HEX, the way that we conceptualize the duration of a stake, and at the same time, the size of the stake in T shares. When you combine those metrics, it makes it easier to explain to somebody that longer pays better, even if you already know that the 10-year stake stops getting bonuses of 20% per year. So a 15-year stake gets the same number of T shares, but you have those T shares longer. And so that's why we wanted to understand what can be promised, because there's so many things that we can't predict. We don't know what the USD price is going to be. It's already way higher than we thought it would ever be. I mean, outside of Quanking, right? Like in the early days, year and a half ago, um, people were dreaming of a penny, right? Or 5 cents. I think like 3 weeks ago, people were dreaming of 5 cents or 9 cents or wherever we're at. So that's pretty cool. Um, so yeah, so having a front end that is able to be trusted, right? To the extent that you verify that you're not like approving, it's not like doing a swap. Um, right? So, and then we're gonna be able to onboard people in 3 minutes or less. And I'm not talking about 3 minutes of you yelling at somebody like, click the right button, go to the menu, go to this, go to that. No, it's like if you send somebody the link, once we have this game up and running, they should be able to onboard with $50 onto MetaMask with a debit card and make a stake. Like fiat to T-shares in under 3 minutes, maybe under 2 minutes. So yeah, so it's pretty exciting. But again, the when we were trying to simplify it, we realized that there are all these layers of complexity of things that we can promise. We can't promise the USD price. We can't even promise how much interest is going to be gained, because that varies based on the dynamic parts of the system, right? But I think everybody will be extremely pleased with what they find here, with tshare.app, and I'm really excited to share that with people again, because I'm not going to be taking any money for it. There's not going to be any fees that we take. There's a genius developer that goes by the handle Future Us. And I think that's genius. Like, this person really impresses me. He might be watching. That's okay. When I'm able to talk to somebody who understands HEX more deeply than I do, that's an exciting day for me. When I'm able to talk with somebody who I have creative chemistry with, and we're able to come up with really cool ideas, I'm excited for the big reveal. We weren't sure if it should be like breadcrumbs or if it should be like Steve Jobs, like, oh, here, like, it's a calculator, it's an iPod, it's a phone, right? Some people would know what I'm talking about with the famous speech that he gave when he unveiled the iPhone, which apparently got redesigned for many years or something. They had to go back to the drawing board on that one. But for us, it seems like we're making good progress, but again, no expectations. And in order to make sure that I'm as busy as possible, because that's how I like to be, there are all these other things that I'm working on. So we got a meetup, HEX meetup in Vegas next week. I'm going to be heading out there here real soon, getting everything set up for y'all. And it looks like we're going to have 200, 250, some outrageous number of people. I was trying to explain to somebody yesterday that usually when there's a meetup in Vegas, if you're going there for work, then usually you come up with an excuse to get lost or not make it. And so the event planners, they have they have 500 meals prepared for somebody, right? Like box lunches or whatever it is. And then like only 100 people show up because everybody else, like the whole place is designed to get people lost and tempted with gambling and entertainment and all kinds of sins, right? Sin City. But my prediction, and you can hold me to this, right? Like, so if the average attendance for any kind of meetup or professional, like they have every year, they have the Concrete Association of America that gets together, right? Like pretty much like watching concrete dry or something like that, right? Um, so that's pretty boring. But I would say, yeah, so if like 50, if normal attendance is like 50%, I'm predicting that Hexagon attendance will be in excess of 120%. And I feel bad for the 20% because you need to make sure you have a ticket so that can try to have enough space for you in the different venues. But yeah, I mean, we've had to change venues already because there were too many people. We already filled up the whole place and then a lot more. So um, the difference with Hexagons is that like we are the entertainment. Like we're going there not because we have to, not because it's work, but because we're excited to be a community, the type of community that hasn't necessarily, in my opinion, existed before. People who are committed to one thing for 15 years. That's something that hasn't immutably been so before, by willing participants who are, trying to understand crypto, who are trying to better themselves. Richard, right, attracted a lot of people who were looking for self-help solutions. And so I think that there's a really unique community, and that's why I'm really excited that we're going to get to have the first meetup, because the second year is going to be really cool. It's probably going to be way bigger. Captain RG3 and I were already planning the details for that for next year, for the mashup of the conference and the meetup all at the same time, all in person. But yeah, this year is going to be a big deal. And I think like Wales Only was the one to say, that like our community is not going to be the same after Vegas. Obviously speaking in a positive light on the fact that, this is going to materialize. First of all, I haven't really done anything to prove that I'm not a simulation. So that's like half the reason that I scheduled this meetup for exactly when the thing that shut down the world got over. Like, talk about good timing. Let's see. We wicked to 14 cents briefly today. Yeah, I want to see those green candles as soon as we hit 10 cents for real. And I feel sorry for the person who like spent so much money to wick it up to 14 so that he would light the candles, and then maybe he didn't see it or didn't count it or something. The Hex community is different, and I think that, yeah, I don't think it'll be the same after we've proven that we exist in 3 and 4 dimensional space. So that's the thing. Like right now, we are a community of 2-dimensional beings, right? Because I have length and width, but no depth, right? I'm just coming to you on a screen, unless you have a hologram or maybe a curved screen, then maybe I'm like a 2.5-dimensional being. But yeah, 3 dimensions is pretty cool. That means like in real life, IRL. And then the 4th dimension is time, which is pretty cool too, because our community is the first 4th dimensional community. Yo, somebody tweet that out, or I don't know. I'll make it into a banner. How about that? We need to celebrate when cool stuff gets said. I feel like it's like a bank thing too, because you know how there's always banks that are names like First Third Bank of New York or something like that, right? And so it's like the first fourth dimensional community, but we're not a bank because we don't screw people over and charge fees and create fractional reserve lending and liquidate people's houses and do predatory lending and um, you know, fund things through Wall Street to have bad incentives for people, right? So that's cool. We'll take it. We'll take the name. Let's see. MC Coiner, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. You're saying here, I'll be with all of you in Vegas in my heart. In reality, I'll be working and stacking hex. Rock on, Hexicans. Yeah, rock on, Mount Corner. That's what's up. We're going to be doing a lot of live streams, and so I hope you get a chance to see those. Oh, darn. I doxed my non-simulation-ness. I forgot whenever I visited Johnny Chaos. So if any of you have seen Johnny Chaos in person, then you will know that he is not a simulation that I have spun up to vouch for me. So if anybody wants to come forward in the chat and say that you've actually met this guy, Chaotic Creations, we're going to need to create a chain of how we all know each other in real life. But again, that's why we're going to Vegas. Sudden well syndrome. I felt targeted, so I showed up. Okay, perfect. Thanks for getting me back on topic. This is Hex Therapy Live. And it's not hexakin.vegas, and it's not this cool new QR code that goes to, wait, that's not even the most up-to-date one. Never mind. tshare.app, and oh yeah, there we go. ALLin. And that logo pulses. I'm just saying. It's got a little pulse animation to it. So I guess everybody's here for the clickbait about Sunwell syndrome, right? And so, you know, one of my favorite moments in live TV with Hex was actually an episode of Hex Therapy Live, and it was when Joe Hexotic and I were interviewing Nate J, who won maybe like a 2 or 3 million Hex giveaway that Ski Cat had done. By the way, shout out to Ski Cat, like he or she is back, yeah. We're all excited about that because Ski Cat is definitely an OG community builder, someone who supported a lot of the streamers in the beginning up until now. And you know, it's people like that. I mean, like, that's another example, right, of tshare.app. You know, like, we're doing this to give back and to pay forward what has been paid to us. And that's a cool concept. Spoiler alert, that's one of the things that you can do if you're starting to feel suddenly wealthy, is not give away all your money, but is to do things that are meaningful to you, to pay it forward, right? And so, yeah, so I love that. So Joe Hexotic and I, we were interviewing Nate J, and we had done like some prep beforehand, and you know, we knew his story at least. We thought we did. But then live on stream, he shared the fact that his relative had won the lottery. And so he had seen firsthand the effects of Sudden Well syndrome outside of the Hexakin community, right? And that was pretty interesting to get his point of view, and that just the coincidence, I guess, that that was the case, that his relative had won the lottery, and that he had learned from that already, and so that the types of insights that he had already into how to manage Sudden Well syndrome were pretty spot on, because he had lived it. So this idea that she went around telling everybody, and then people expected things from her, and she maybe felt guilty. I'm like, I'm trying to remember, and I'm like blending it with all the other symptoms of Sunwell syndrome. So if I don't get it exactly right, you'll have to forgive me, Nate. But that's what people experience is they have this urge to like give it all away, feel bad about themselves, feel depressed, disconnected with loved ones. And this idea of not experiencing the struggle anymore is definitely an adjustment period for a lot of people. And so, when it comes to financial planning, I know about like 20% of people squander their lottery winnings, if you want to call it that. I mean, it's their money, so I'm not sure we can really say. But just in general, I guess people who look back and there's 20% of people who are like, oh, I wish I didn't do that. And then there's 80% of people who say like, oh, I'm glad I got a financial advisor. I'm glad that I, took the advice or whatever. So that's kind of interesting. So it makes sense to like talk to somebody, talk to a professional, and you don't have to tell everybody. You don't have to give away your money right away. One thing that HEX allows you to do is to continue to stake, right? And to find meaning in other ways. So my prediction, psychologically speaking, is that people who have Sunwell syndrome and HEX will become better and better versions of themselves and will be supporting the community in a number of really cool ways. And you guys saw it. I did a survey. If you go to YouTube and you go to the community tab under Maddie ALLin, then you will find there's like a ridiculous number of people who watched this show that responded that have Sunwell syndrome. I don't know what the statistics are in any other communities because I don't have access to those groups, but here I can put up on the screen. So just understanding what we're going through, putting a name on it, giving you something to do your own research on. I hope that's helpful. Let me blow this up here. There we go. We're getting there. I am going to get my charger really quick. I am really sorry. Let's listen to a third intro. Yay! Thanks for hanging in there, everybody. And if I didn't say it before, go ahead and like and subscribe now, because whether you have Sunwell syndrome already, like many of people who watch the show do, or if you're hoping that you come down with a case of it sometime very soon, either way, you're going to want to prepare yourself. And so that's part of the point of this show now, I guess. Believe it or not. There's a lot of therapy topics. We will not run out of content. I know because I did 11,000 hours of therapy as a mental health therapist before I became a HEX therapist. This is not financial or therapy advice, not medical advice. Take your omega-3. That is a biological command. It helps your prefrontal cortex. Oh, this is about tshare.app. Look at how many people are off the charts and would be able to onboard 20 to 30 people if they just had a link and it was that easy. Nice. Which crypto is better? That was a teaser, before anybody knew what the name of the app was. Pick the best part of Hex Crypto for you, life-changing mental health. I'm surprised, 18%, that's pretty awesome. Math and smart contracts, 33%, also very awesome. And Hexagon community, 50%. There you go. Very nice. 361 people voting. I feel like a mad scientist, right? And I love it. Normally it would take me months to get so many surveys filled out. Have you experienced any symptoms of crypto sudden wealth syndrome? These could include shock, depression, anxiety, insomnia, feeling not worthy, gambling due to guilt, losing meaning from work, lack of purpose. One more person has to fill this out, and then we'll get to 300. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button, and then fill out all the surveys here if you don't mind. It's literally, I do not think that there is any other channel other than Hex channels that would say this, right? This is an advertiser's wet dream. And guess what? You can't advertise with me because I'm not selling out my audience to a middleman. Ain't happening. Sorry. Get out of here. Go shill your community killing vibes somewhere else, right? 43% of the people who responded to this survey said that they have had a symptom of Hex crypto sudden wealth syndrome. 57% said they're still waiting. Those numbers are off the charts, literally. So this is definitely a thing. So you're not alone. First of all, you're not alone. Good news. Second of all, the more that you can do for others, it's important to not enable people, right? It's important to not be codependent. And so, again, you're going to hear me keep coming back to onboarding, because once you find the money that can buy your freedom, and then you buy your freedom, it's kind of like a good idea to help other people buy their freedom. And you can't just buy other people's freedom by giving him a fish. You know, you can feed a man for a day, but if you teach a man to fish, then you'll feed him for life. And so that's kind of how I see Hex right now, is especially people who get in early are going to have outsized returns. Even people who don't get in early are going to have outsized returns. Probably. I mean, that's what we've seen so far. It's designed better than Bitcoin. It went up 6 million X. So, I think that there's a lot of meaning to be had because I feel guilty, but I have to take care of myself, right? Like, so I can't spend all my time onboarding. And that's not what I want to do, right? Like, you will find when you practice self-care a lot, and I myself have practiced what I preach for a number of years. After I saw it working for therapy clients, I didn't always practice what I preached. And then I gave it a try, and I was like, oh, yeah, I need to exercise and eat right and sleep better and consume less of things that aren't healthy for me, right? And I need to open up to people and, all the therapy things, right? Believe in myself, work on self-esteem. I need to, work on my financial health, right? That's something I did that prepared me for Hex. And so there are so many things, right? But no matter where you get started with your own personal health, setting boundaries is going to be an important part of it, because you might make great progress only to find that you keep having setback after setback. And one of the tricks, I guess, is self-care and self-esteem, setting boundaries, saying no, not feeling guilty when you're selfish with your time or your energy to a certain extent. If you're not selfish enough to take care of yourself, then how are you supposed to take care of anybody else, right? Having healthier relationships with others really starts with having a healthier relationship with yourself. And in the fourth dimension of time, that is very possible with a product like Hex, that allows you to do an immutable, irreversible send to your future self. That's kind of partially true. I mean, you could early end stake. I wouldn't recommend it. And then you could even lose all of your principal if you don't serve your time that you promised. So it really is, it's an immutable IOU that is worth nothing the day after you send it. So you should at least wait a while, right? That's why people make staking ladders and everything. So there's so much to teach in HEX, and there's so many people that really need to be freed, right? It's not right that Jeff Bezos is making so many billions. It's not right that the government is so wasteful with their money, right? There are just so many examples here of waste, of corruption, right? Of the and I was talking to Future Us about this the other day. You know, like macroeconomics and history and stuff. Like, it is true. The whole idea of the common man being able to have assets and to store wealth, that's actually new. That's like a new idea in the grand scheme of things. And so, I mean, you know, we're on the cutting edge of financial technology when we even have money that the government isn't always stealing the value of, right? And when the people who already have all the power aren't stealing all of the financial energy. So I guess we're off to a good start. Maybe I shouldn't talk so much shit about the legacy financial system, because this is the other thing I realized with the onboarding. People do not want to hear like a sad story about how all the work that they've done and all the money that they've saved their whole life was a scam. Like, that's not a good way to come at people. So yeah, coming up with different narratives to present the onboarding story is going to free more people. Now, one of the main things that I'm proud of in the tshare.app tool, which you will all get a copy of here soon, so that you can see if that helps with your sudden wealth syndrome. If making other people around you suddenly wealthy, if that helps your sudden wealth syndrome, I would love that. And but you know, I approach things from a therapy and from a neuroscience perspective. And what I came across when I was analyzing how is it that we are currently onboarding people, what are some of the base assumptions? And one of the base assumptions that I've been using is people want to learn about all the ins and outs of economics. What is money? What is Bitcoin? What is HEX? Like, that's a long story right there. We've made 100 hours, way over 100 hours of CoinGain content. Haven't covered it at all. HEX conference was like 30 or 40 hours, maybe. Didn't cover it all. Like, that will be a yearly thing, right? So yeah, there's a lot to cover, isn't there? But not everybody wants to hear about that, especially while the world is opening up. You know, people don't have time to learn about money. As odd as that sounds, to people who see the light and who know that we can, you know, we can earn our freedom, we can, you know, benefit from spreading this tool of delayed gratification and paying your future self, and then taking better care of yourself and the world along the way. Yeah, I mean, this is something new, but part of what we've been doing, I think, in general, I don't want to speak for everybody, but we've been looking for people who are ready to have their lives changed by crypto. And maybe we're like trying to talk people into it, but if I had to choose between people who weren't ready and people who were ready, I think I would make the mistake of going after the people who are not ready. There's a famous quote from Richard that is in some of the HEX cameo videos, which was my first community project, where I just spent like lots of free Uniswap money hiring celebrities to thank Richard. And then I made videos about it and cut it up with like videos of him. So, you know, some people might think that the celebrities were endorsing him. Not my problem. Hey, I have SEC warnings all over it, okay? So I'm pretty sure I did my responsible thing. But yeah, I mean, so at the end of the day, people really don't care about at the end of the day, so what Richard said in that famous quote was my it's easier to onboard my friends who don't understand crypto. It's easier to onboard my friends who don't understand crypto than my friends that do. And I think he was reading a comment and he was just agreeing with the psychology of that. And so coming from a background where I worked with the majority of clients who were court ordered to be in treatment. And so they didn't want to get better. They didn't want to do therapy. They didn't want to quit using drugs or alcohol, or they didn't want to be better parents, or whatever it was. There was a disconnect there. And so I have a special skill set of helping people who don't want to be helped. And um, so I started thinking about how can we incorporate that into HEX, because we have this problem. We have something that's literally too good to believe. Like if you look at some of the Staker app advertisements, like on Hex.vision, which is one of the awesome tools that they've created, they have like a banner and it says like whenever HEX was paying 40% average APY, they were advertising 20% or 25%. And like different members of the community have realized in their onboarding efforts that sometimes telling people that you're going to get 1,000x or a 10,000x repels them. And I'm fine with whales getting repelled. Not whales only. I'm talking about like whales, like venture capitalists and billionaires and people who normally come in and steal all the meat off the bone before the average guy gets there, and then dumps on the average guy's head, and then controls all the coin ranking sites, and then starts an exchange that's basically a carpet factory of rug pulls, and only cares about being a middleman and getting people to put money on centralized exchanges whenever decentralized is already the way to go. Yeah, that pisses me off, but I'm cool if those people stay out. I want like regular people to get in with like $50. I want like everybody in the world to get in for $50. And I don't care, like the price is already good, If the price stays the same, if the price goes down, like we cool. I can keep living my like already very savings oriented quality of life. Like I am much more interested in other people buying their freedom than me buying stuff I don't need that's not going to give me meaning. I'm here for the glory, and I hope you all are here for the glory too, because there's about to be a lot of glory to go around if we can break this curse of centralized money, if we can program mental health into money. And the thing people don't realize is your money is your environment. And when people are pushed into an environment, even if they're not aware of it, it always comes out affecting your behavior, right? And so people who, I mean, there's a lot of mental health problems that can be cured by easing up on the struggle. I'm not going to say man should be without struggle, but there are plenty of things we can struggle about. We don't have to struggle about billionaires getting all the money so everybody else can't eat, or people are so stressed out, just to get by. Makes me sick. The wealth inequality and everything. Crypto isn't necessarily designed to solve that. But again, I would rather get in. Personally, I would like me myself. I want to get in 1,000 people with this tool in the first month. And guess what? It's just gonna be me sending one message to 1,000 people. But I really don't think it's gonna be that because like all the instructions, everything, it's all automated and stuff. So people, they're just playing this 15-second game. Boom, you got a t-shirt. How'd that happen? Right? So, and I know people have to see it to really understand. But yeah, I mean, it's I don't see why we wouldn't find ways to like send it out en masse, like to get it in front of as many people as possible. I wouldn't be surprised if this tool, I wouldn't be surprised if other people in the community who are seeking glory and not getting paid directly from like onboarding people who don't want to get rich as a middleman, but want to help others, that y'all might find some email lists that I don't know about. Y'all might, you know, solve some problems, right? And get excited about that. Because personally, again, like I said, I'm going to use it myself. And I think that this is part of the cure for sun wealth syndrome, is to spread the wealth in a way that's sustainable. Again, if you teach somebody the power of a t-share, that's going to help them a lot more than if you just give them t-shares. I mean, giving people t-shares, trust me, it works out. I've given away so much. I mean, I'm probably proud if I look at the number, but at the same time, I had to like cool off of it because I was I was getting really giveaway happy for a while there. I was giving away whole t-shirts like all the time. But that was money that came to me for hosting the first HEX conference. And once I paid the expenses of the conference, I was like, yo, let me spread the wealth, right? So, but onboarding, I think, is a much more important thing. If people put their own money in, then they're the ones who feel the contact with success. And again, if somebody can get onboarded in 3 minutes, we don't have to see them again for 3 months. Once the price does another 10x, all of a sudden they're going to do all the work that they need to learn about HEX. Because the information already exists. Now we need it to go viral and for it to be a tool that has virality, right? Talking some like Robinhood type shit. Let me check here in the comments. Hexagon Crypto Moo, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thanks so much for all your work. Your program is my favorite, especially Tuesday when you have cream on. I'm going to check out the new app. Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for checking it out. Right now it's just a landing page. We're hoping to have it up in a week or two here. And might even get to show it off here in Vegas. That'd be pretty cool. No expectations though, so don't hold me to it. Whales only? Oh, my co-host. 5555. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Thank you so much for being a boon to the community. You cannot be compensated enough. I appreciate it. Right back at you. You know, we're out here leading by example, right? And you're the one who's always kind of pointing out these important macro ideas, not just macroeconomics, but macro psychology. Insert any word after macro. You're seeing the big picture. And so you've spoken several times on leadership, and I definitely learned a lot from that side of things, as well as all of your awesome catchphrases. And, you know, make sure I get a chance to sign your yearbook when I see you, for sure. Is somebody going to Vegas? I'm not sure who you're talking about, so you're gonna have to be more specific. Thank you, Melv Tony. I appreciate it. Finbear, morning to you. Hey, I was taking a look at your testimonial video today, and I'm really excited about it. We've had a number of people in the community who accepted the challenge. Hashtag HEX challenge on Twitter to go ahead and do your 1-minute testimonial video. And I know a lot of people, I know you're waiting for, whenever you buy your golden yacht. But I'm here to tell you, the attitude of gratitude, as Kareem says, it goes a long way in kind of like feeling good about yourself and feeling good whether good or bad is happening around you, right? Having things to be grateful for. So I am very grateful for the community, and that's what I said in my 1-minute HEX testimonial. And like I said, guys, if my brain's a little bit scrambled, if I keep like hinting that I'm going to talk about something and then I like kind of get a little distracted and then remember my train of thought, you'll have to forgive me. I've been burning the midnight oil at both ends, just getting ready for all this stuff. But there's so many big reveals like right around the corner. I can't wait. One of them has to do with the HEX testimonials video. Like they said it couldn't be done, and it looks like we're on track. So anybody who hasn't done one yet, go ahead and do it now. Because yeah, there are going to be many time points when we can be grateful, and just say. So the challenge says make a 1-minute video about why you like HEX or how HEX has helped you. That's simple enough. There are a lot of people who can say why they like HEX without having that be their be-all, end-all of things. So go ahead and check that out. But basically what's going to happen is I'm going to release the first part of the mashup video, and then like tons of people are going to do their video so that they can add to it because it's so sick and awesome. Just saying. I'm collaborating with the best in the business in the HEX community. Multiple people who can't all even be named. But also, if you're out there and you got skills, let me know, because I really need a good soundtrack right now. I don't know if you all have watched the HEX Rewind 2020 video that HEX Cadet made as many times as I have, because I was talking to another member of the community who really gets me hyped up and has toxic positivity like I do, and I was like really excited to hear. They were like, yeah, I watched that 20 times. I was like, I watched that 20 times, yo. Like, that's our hype track right there. And it has good music that's not copywritten, I believe. So yeah, we're gonna need a hype soundtrack for the different blocks of the HEX testimonial video, because y'all thought blocks were the only way to do things in crypto. Well, that's also the only way to do things when we're making a video that never ends until we onboard like 8 or 10 billion people. So just saying, if you want to be in the first billion or in the first 1,000, then you should probably get your HEX testimonial video in there pretty quick. And if you're going to Vegas, we were going to do a thing where like, hey, do it now while you're here. Super excited and happy. I mean, Hexicans are super excited and happy all the time, but then we were thinking like, oh, maybe the background would be the same and then it would like look weird. So, but the block problems or the block solution solves that problem as well, right? So, so we'll have a block if people want to do their 1-minute testimonial video in person, feel the hype and the energy of Hexican community around them, then that sounds good. So thank you, Finbear, for getting that. I think you were the one who I was working on your testimony, the one with all the huge logs behind you. That was pretty cool. Live stories, do tell. Let's see. Yay, people are talking to each other and saying hi, building community here in the chat. I did my due diligence. I try to do that. Is there a link to watch the HEX cameo? I think you can go to hexcameo.com. You guys, I got a lot of like hidden stuff that I need to show more because it's, yeah. Okay, if here, I'll just show you so that people can see because there's so much content that I've worked on that is gonna like, this has only gotten 127 views because I was just, I was a brand new Hex streamer, never even showed my face before when I made this. Um, Richard really liked the Hex cameos, but I don't want to say he yelled at me. He set me straight because I put gethex.org. I thought that was awesome, and he said it makes people think like it's just hex.org instead of gethex.org, which like hex.org is controlled by like a bad actor or something. It's like somebody whining back at like 3,000ths of a cent. Like, I sold my hex because it was a scam. Like, show me on the chart where you got scammed, bro. Like, and that's what I've always predicted. You'll hear me say it over and over again. Like, um, at some point, like all these scam robocalls, like they will evolve to the point where like you can't distinguish them from reality. But what you can distinguish is the fact that we have a real community and we have a real smart contract and it's been audited, and future us has looked at the smart contract, like looked at the hex contract line by line. I can tell you my favorite line of the hex contract, 719, that little cuatro cinco line right there leaves the meat on the bone for everybody and is that nice little T-share bonus. So this is Hex Cameo. Oh, the playlist has been viewed 127 times. So that's like, okay, that's a little bit better. But still, probably, we got Kevin from The Office. So yeah, I'm not gonna ruin the surprise. We'll just say there's gonna be testimonials from all kinds of people here. So I'm gonna stop sharing this now because I already told you. Hexcameo.com, coingang.com. Yeah, just figure out where all the Easter eggs are, okay? Next person I onboard, I will tell them they will lose money and see how it works. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, can I say any more? I'll explain it all when the app comes out. Or even better, people will experience it, and that'll be cool too. My BTC airdrop was small. A year later, it was cool. Now it's rocking. All right. Hard on myself for not doing better. My focus is being a better husband, father, and Hexakin than I was yesterday. Well put. Well put. Hell yeah. Hey, Hexander, how's it going? Good to see you. Hex Farmer, way easier to onboard. No coiners. Okay, that's important. That's good to know. Same as you, Mount Coiner, being better than the day before. There you go. Only tell nice people about Hex. There you go. That's a good point. We don't want too many bad actors. Crypto Journeyman, good to see you there. Mark Twain, it's easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled. Wow, I love that quote. Yo, you may have just inspired me to write my next Medium article because pretty much Mark Twain already has some of my favorite quotes. One of my favorite quotes, which I used to work on neuroscience to understand human psychology and emotions and attention and impulsivity in general. But then we also studied smokers. And Mark Twain has a quote about quitting smoking. He said, "Quitting smoking is easy. I've done it many times." You know, if I have to explain it, then then you haven't tried to quit smoking. Took me a long time to start committing to HEX. Should have just listened to Richard. There you go. Well put. Let's see. I don't want to be helped. Can someone help me? There you go. Hex Monkey showing up. Whales only. Small improvement every day equals huge improvement long term. Very nice. C. Can we popularize a better phrase than onboarding? How about, yeah, if anybody has it, like tea sharing, I would just say spreading the wealth, um, programming mental health into money. Let's see what else we have here. Gamifying buying your freedom. I don't know. Let me know when children in the grave. I trust you. You're in charge of that. Go ahead and mint your own better phrase than onboarding and let me know what you come up with. I just hope that physical labor, lack of sleep, and past decisions don't kill me before I have the chance to see great wealth. I hope so too. Let's see. PHEX or Pulse? That is the question. We get yearbooks? Oh no, now I'm really making promises. No promises of the promises of others. Let's see. I should at least see my first round of 15-year stakes mature. Who knows? Maybe Richard will have solved aging by then. We can stake for 100 years. Sure. Sounds good to me. Let's increase our health spans. Go to apy.health. It's a front end for allmylinks.com/allin. So that's for the people who know what APY is enough to go to apy.health and know that .health is a domain name, but don't have a long enough attention span to remember allmylinks.com/allin. But hopefully me explaining that caused part of it to stick into your mind. apy.health, apy.health, apy.health. Let's see. Yeah, there's lots of cool tools. Cools, for sure. Let's see. If the sacrifice phase starts while we're in Vegas, I'm gonna have mental health issues. I know, right? It'll be fine. I was reading in between the lines of what Richard was saying today, and he was like, definitely it'll start, and I forget what he said exactly, I don't want to misquote him, but he's like, definitely it'll start anytime. And then later he was like, and it'll launch in 60 days or some other number of days. So anyway, my guess is that he's waiting on the price, to predict the top of the dead cat bounce or the suckers rally or whatever we're in right now. That's my guess. And setting up the Sens Foundation stuff. If you remember, 2-3 days ago, he did a live stream. Maybe it was only a day ago. And he said that the Sens Foundation was asking for people's private seed phrases that they shouldn't ask for. So it seems like they have a little bit more work to do. So maybe it's not going to be in the next week. Maybe it is. It's part of the excitement of going to Vegas is not knowing if the sacrifice phase will happen. Imagine looking back a year from now or 15 years from now, being like, one thing was certain. I went to Vegas for the community and I sacrificed the possibility of missing, the first period of the sacrifice phase, because he said that the sacrifice phase might keep the price the same for 3 days. We're going to be in Vegas for 3 days for the official event. So I don't think people will miss out too much, but if you do, hey, that was your sacrifice. Good job. You can have MetaMask on your mobile. They did invent that since last summer. That's pretty cool. HEX is the best investment ever created. Plus, the community is cool. People that care about each other doing well. Right on. I recommend to my onboarded friends to not use MetaMask on the telephone. What if you get a feisty cop that says, open your phone and let me take a look at it? Sure. Well, if you, so with tshare.app, kind of that, and people will use it however they want. But part of the attitude is we need people to get their $50 in. There's gonna be a lot of situations where people lose their crypto, but the greatest loss of all is if more people don't get HEX in the first place, right? Like, if you're teaching a man to fish and, what if the fish has mercury in it or something, right? Like, there's more problems to solve than just getting the fish in the guy's stomach, right? But the point I think that Hex Farmer is making this an excellent one is you don't want to lose all your crypto to a cop who's feisty and taking a look at it, right? Otherwise, you could forget your password or you could not use Face ID, and there's probably different ways to stop that from happening. But at the end of the day, we do want to onboard people with only $50 maximum and minimum, and we want them to have the smoothest experience possible because otherwise they're not going to get in. They don't have time for that. But once they see HEX do a 10x, they're going to make time. They're going to make time to learn about security. My HEX farmer friend, yes, ha ha ha. Let's see. Real talk, real talk. There's no way I'm this far behind in the comments. Okay, I don't think I was. One of the challenges I find with onboarding is we often deal with folks that got in for different reasons than someone else would. Sure, yeah. Which is why I don't want to find people who are ready. I want to find people who aren't ready, or who are ready but aren't ready for all that, right? Who aren't ready to learn everything, because HEX does the job for us. Somebody puts $50 in and it turns into 500 or 5,000. That person's going to do their own research real quick. So hopefully you see the value in that. If not, give it a try anyway, because then I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I feel that HEX and Pulse community will be the most educated and prepared crypto community to ever hit the crypto sphere. Yeah, I think so too. Onboarding millennials, creating interest in HEX. Like, HEX is so easy. You can use it straight from your phone. Now they have questions. Excellent. All the new guys are in such a good place. Me and others would just dump, but love this project far too much. HEX and its community are an essential part of my mental health and wealth. Well put, MT Corner. The easiest part of quitting is starting again. Gets me every time. Yeah, that's a good corollary of the old Twain quote. Hardest part about quitting smoking is you have to tell everyone. Okay. Touche, Finbear, touche. Onboarding never ends. That's right. And the HEX event is going to be, the HEX meetup is going to be a really big onboarding event as well. And so that's why we're going to have, like, on the t-shirts, it's going to say hexakin.us. And then on the back, it's going to have a QR code that goes to a landing page that's just talking about hex.com and telling people what we're doing there in Vegas. Hey, we're there to spread awareness and to do a meetup with each other. Let's see. Scott is saying, okay, here, let's see. Replace onboarding with induction or inception. Yeah. If anybody's seen that movie, that's literally what I'm trying to do with tshare.app. It's like your onboards, you just send them a link So it's not even going to be so complicated that you have to watch a 2.5 hour badass movie unless you want to. But basically, you send somebody a link, and then boom, they think it was their idea to accumulate HEX over their lifetime as their savings mechanism. Let's see. There are many, many very smart people in crypto that just refuse to take the red pill. They love their BTC or XRP or Cardano. Some of them would make fantastic hexicans if converted. Yeah, I mean, totally. For example, I offered to send a coworker $100 in crypto, 15 in ETH, and 10K of HEX. He never had time. Yeah, same thing. I hear you. Totally. There are so many people. I offered to give them $100 worth of HEX in the early days, sub 1 penny. And yeah, the people who took me up on it, I sent them ETH, I sent them HEX, like showed them how to use a decentralized swap. I mean, some people got a whole airdrop and their shit's worth like 20 or 50 or $100,000 now. So that's wild. That's when I was only sending people $20 worth. So I totally hear this, and like that's why we can't just gift it to people and expect them to have the best like onboarding experience and the best way to take charge of their own plan, right? To make their own commitments and execution. Let's see. I always thought about T-shares was something that the British did 2 p.m. every afternoon. Yeah, there you go. I believe you're correct. I think they will find their way eventually. Yeah. I see your point. If someone has skin in the game, they will be more likely and prone to help themselves. Yes. It's Hex is cool because with the onboarding app, people will stake for a long time. Those are the only choices. So then we'll have people for a number of years have an incentive to pay attention. It won't force them to pay attention, but there will be incentives planted everywhere. That's the point. So I know there's no easy answer for Sun Well syndrome, but I also know that like building community, giving to others, creating a plan, and imagine like working out the details of how you can onboard more people and spread the wealth. These are all things that people have found extremely helpful. And so I hope that works for you as well. We will revisit this topic from time to time, and we'll be talking about a lot more than just that on hex therapy. And yeah, I want to make sure that I keep like giving you what you came for, which I hope is life-changing health and wealth and much, much more. Hex crypto not only causes but also cures Sun Well syndrome. So get signed up, even if the app isn't ready. It's time to get with the program. So with that being said, let me see if Crypto Knights of the Roundtable has started their stream because I have a lot of work to do these big reveals for y'all. So I hope you're getting excited for that. And I'm gonna see here. I'm sure YouTube will tell me. Oh, somebody's on. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Crypto Knights of the Round Table. Here we go. I'm gonna drop the link here. Everybody, switch over. Tell them who sent you. Maddie ALLin of Hex Therapy Live. For those of you who I will see in Vegas, I'm excited to see you there. I can't wait for all the good times that we're going to have making history as Hexicans, the first fourth dimensional community. Ooh, that should be a title of a show. I think we have a title. Go ahead and follow at T-Share app on literally everything. Follow at T-shirt app on Telegram, Instagram, MySpace, all my links, Linktree, Twitter, Medium, LiveJournal, OnlyFans, Reddit, Twitch, LinkedIn, Vimeo, Pinterest, TikTok, Snapchat, Periscope, Patreon, and DLive, or not DLive because they're not cool with the Joker. So shout out to Joker, shout out to Discourse Syndicate, shout out to Crypto Knights of the Roundtable, shout out to the community, and with that being said, stake wisely and sacrifice wisely, my friends.